Hi, how are you? There's no review, by the way. I just said to the gang, I was like, do you know what? I am tired. Grab that Bentley, take me home. And thanks for stopping by, it's so kind of you. While you're here, make sure you subscribe to the Car Buyer YouTube channel and click on the bell. What? Sorry, no. Well, I can, yeah. Well, I can do a quick review if you want me to do a quick, I can do a quick review. All right, I'll do a quick review. Take me to a filming location. We love testing pragmatic, good value cars that quietly fit into daily lives here at Car Buyer, but just like everybody else, we also appreciate a little bit of luxury every now and again. And when it comes to the Bentley Flying Spur, a lot of luxury. Now, if you are lucky enough to be on the market for a luxury limo like this, or you're just prepping your shopping list for when you win the lottery, stick around because we'll be finding out whether this is the one to buy.
The Flying Spur looks much like the Bentley Continental GT from the front, but it's a saloon rather than a coupe, so it's better suited to buyers who regularly have rear seat passengers or, just as likely, will be sat in the back themselves while a chauffeur does all the driving. Our car's relatively brutish, stealthy look, aside from those gleaming 22-inch alloy wheels, is down to the black specification pack, which swaps chrome for black paint on most of the exterior trim. And the styling specification, which adds a splitter, diffuser, spoiler and side skirts, are all carbon fibre. The car starts at around £154,000, so rivals include top-spec versions of the Porsche Panamera, Maybach models of the Mercedes S-Class and the Rolls-Royce Ghost.
Not a small price tag, that one, is it? I mean, where better to show if this car can live up to expectations than right here in the back. Naturally, we have 2 larger seats rather than 3 smaller ones, and it just gives you so much room. Everything looks and feels amazing. These can be adjusted in like a million ways. And you've also got these little pillows on the headrest. Just another sign of opulence. Now this car has the optional Mulliner driving specification, so that gives the raised quilted leather on the seats and also the raised pattern on the doors. It feels so nice now. I feel like I'm part of my own little private members club. Oh, you've also got tech as well as the fancy materials and craftsmanship like this touchscreen remote control for the VIPs like myself sat in the back here. Now you can control climate control in here, you can control the heated seats and very important things like if the flying bee on the bonnet is on display or not. Just going to hide it, quickly. Yeah. Oh, special mention has to go for the name for Bentley sound system, which I can also control on here, and that, yeah, might cost just under £7,000, but you should have heard the disco I had in here earlier. It was awesome. We had Tina Turner on the lot. Well, anything else to mention? Oh, well, I mean, in case you were worried about what we had to sacrifice the middle seat for, well, champagne cooler, which is where I kept my champagne that I was about to have earlier before I was rudely interrupted by you guys and forced to do a car review. Yeah. Oh, and behind that, 420 litres of boot space, which I suppose is perfect for a weekend away. Now up here in the front, the experience is just as lavish. I mean, the materials and the finishes, including this black and walnut veneer, is just great, and obviously you've got a vast and expensive range of materials and combinations to choose from when you're buying a car like this. It's actually very unlikely that Bentley will ever sell 2 cars that are the same on the inside. The infotainment system is run by this 12.3-inch screen, which is perfectly easy to use. I'm sure many of you have seen this rotating display. It's generally very, very popular. Makes me feel like I'm James Bond. Of course it does, pop it. Problem is, you do have to pay extra money for that. £5,000 to be precise, but You do get to choose between having a nice veneer finish, or you can have the analog dials, or if you fancy the screen, put the screen back if you want to. Now this brings me nicely to the screen behind the steering wheel. It's fully digital and it looks great. I mean, I would like it to be a little bit more Bentley. I would like to have some sort of physical analog element to it. I wonder if they've got a suggestion box somewhere that's made out of like eucalyptus and marble or something. I mean, honestly, I'm nitpicking. That is just personal preference rather than anything actually being bad in here, because everything in here is absolutely wonderful.
There are currently 2 models of the Flying Spur on offer. The W12 uses Bentley's famous 6-litre engine of the same name. It also has 626 brake horsepower and gets the car from 0 to 62 in 3.7 seconds, which is pretty incredible given that it weighs almost 2.5 tonnes. The V8 version was added a little bit later and uses VW Group's twin-turbo 4-litre engine with 542 brake horsepower and a 0 to 62 time of 4 seconds. It doesn't really feel any slower in a straight line than the significantly more expensive W12.
The V8, like the one we've got here, is every bit as fast as the numbers would suggest. I mean, I know obviously this is a very big and heavy car, but the way it responds when you put your foot down is seriously impressive. You could be putting about at any speed, and all you've got to do is ask for a little bit of acceleration and it's just there instantly and effortlessly in one big wave. It's awesome. Now this Flying Spur has 4-wheel drive, which favours the rear wheels, but that doesn't mean it's going to lose any traction. It doesn't feel like it's going to lose any traction, despite how powerful the engine is. While not everything about this car is strictly logical, some buyers that would buy a car like this are used to having the best of the best, regardless of the price. But it does seem a little bit unnecessary to us to pay an extra £20,000 for the larger W12 engine when this V8 is so fast.
One thing prospective owners could do with that 20 grand is put it towards the frequent and expensive trips to fill up the car's 90-litre fuel tank. Despite cylinder deactivation technology for both engines, which switches half the engine off when full power isn't required, the V8 model officially returns 22.2 miles per gallon with CO2 emissions of 288 grams per kilometre, while the W12 manages 19.1 miles per gallon with 337 grams per kilometre.
Okay, so this car goes really fast in a straight line, but what's more amazing is how well this handles corners when you take them quickly or when you're changing direction. Now that is thanks to some very clever engineering, which includes air suspension and active dampers. Now that means that the Flying Spur remains very composed when you're taking bends. All-wheel steering helps in that regard as well. It helps improve manoeuvrability when you're moving a little bit slower, but also when you're cornering and going that little bit quicker. Our car is also helped by the fact that the V8 is a lot lighter than the W12 engine, 100 kilos to be precise, which, yeah, is pretty heavy. I think especially considering the fact that it's all plonked at the nose of the car. At a glance, this seems like the kind of car that you should exclusively enjoy from the rear seats. And I can tell you, having sat back there, that you will. But also, this is a surprisingly lovely car to drive. Of course, it will do cross-country journeys in serene quiet and lovely comfort, and it will soak up every single lump and bump on the way. But also, if you get stuck on a country road, it's still very quick and very good fun.
Right, let's run through the deal makers and deal breakers, shall we? The inside of the Bentley Flying Spur is every bit as luxurious and comfortable as you'd expect of a Bentley. It's amazing that a car as big and heavy as this handles as well as it does. And both of the engines on offer are wonderfully powerful. There aren't many cars on the road that offer more space to passengers sitting in the back seats. From the price tag to the cost of options to paying for fuel, nothing about Flying Spur ownership comes cheap.
There is no denying that this is an enormously expensive car, one that not many of us will be able to afford. I mean, this one is just over £200,000 once you factor all the options in. But also, this is extremely impressive. It does everything that you could possibly realistically dream it could do, and it does it very, very well. It is comfortable, it is fun to drive, it is luxurious, and it is refined. I mean, if you are after a luxury saloon like this one, I mean, this really is the best of its kind to buy. Now I am going to go and finish that champagne.
If you found this video useful, then why not watch our BMW 7 Series review or our luxury cars playlist. Thanks for watching.